Stop scrolling. I need you to picture something right now. A mailman. A regular 1916 mailman. Shows up to work on a Monday morning, coffee in hand, ready for a normal day. And in front of him, 80,000 bricks. Not a letter, not a parcel. 80,000 individual bricks. All of them legally addressed, all of them properly stamped, all of them required by law to be delivered. Now here's the part that's going to break your brain. The man who did this broke 0 laws. He didn't steal anything. He didn't trick anyone. He didn't even lie. He just read a rule book. That's it. And by doing that, he forced the United States government to physically mail him an entire building. Stay with me, because this story gets so much stranger. Utah, 1916. Not the Utah you're picturing. Forget the national parks and the highways. This is the Utah where civilization basically gave up and went home. The town of Vernal, population a few hundred. Roads, non-existent. Nearest railroad, nowhere close. William Coltharp is a local businessman, and he has one dream that everyone around him thinks is insane. He wants to build a bank. Not a shack, not a wooden storefront, a real bank. Brick walls, stone foundation, the kind of building where customers walk in and physically feel that their money is safe. One problem. The nearest quality bricks are in Salt Lake City, 190 miles away. Through mountains, through desert, through roads so bad that wagon axles snapped within miles of leaving town. Coltharp calls the freight companies. They give him a number. He does the math. At those prices, each individual brick would cost more than a steak dinner. Normal person gives up, builds in wood, moves on. But Coltharp sits down with the United States Postal Service rulebook and reads every single word. What he finds stops him cold. Mailing packages through the U.S. Post Office costs a fraction of private freight rates. A fraction. And the rules are very clear. You cannot mail anything explosive. You cannot mail anything that will spoil. You can mail everything else. Coltharp looks at a brick. A brick doesn't explode. A brick doesn't spoil. He picks up his calculator. Each package, maximum 50 pounds. Bricks are heavy but compact. Package them just under the limit, one by one. Perfectly legal. The post office is legally required to deliver every single package. He runs the numbers, runs them again, stares at the final figure. 90% cheaper than the freight companies, for an entire bank, by mail. Here's what I need you to sit with. Every person in America had access to this exact same rule book. Every frustrated freight customer, every overcharged businessman. The rule book was public. Anyone could read it. Nobody did. Coltharp did. One morning in Salt Lake City, postal workers arrive for what they expect to be a normal shift. They open the loading dock, and they stop. 80,000 bricks. Every single one carefully packaged. Every single one addressed to Vernal, Utah. Every single one legally, constitutionally, 100% required to be delivered. The postmaster reads the rules, reads them again, calls his supervisor. There's nothing they can do. The law is the law. So the United States Postal Service does the only thing it legally can. It mails a bank, brick by brick, for weeks. The logistics of the entire state nearly breaks. Warehouses overflow. Wagon axles snap. Workers develop back problems that follow them for life. The postmaster of Vernal reportedly aged a decade in a month. But every single brick arrives. The bank gets built. Locals call it the bank that came by mail, and everyone assumes that's the end of the story. It isn't. The Postal Service, furious and humiliated, tears through their rulebook, looking for anything that covers what just happened. There's nothing. Because when those rules were written, not one single person thought to write, "You may not mail an entire building." Why would they? Why would anyone think that needed to be said? So they write it, word for word. Official regulation. The mailing of entire buildings is prohibited. Somewhere in a legal archive, that rule still exists today because of one man who read a book. The bank still stands in Vernal, Utah. And here's what I keep coming back to. Coltharp didn't have more money. He didn't have connections. He didn't have power. He had patience and curiosity and the willingness to read what everyone else skipped. The rule book was always there. He just opened it. Next time someone tells you the rules aren't in your favor, remember this story. Because maybe you just haven't read them yet. Hit like if this story made you think. Subscribe because in 3 days, I'm dropping something that makes this look small. See you then.